Welcome to episode 2 of the Dawn of Rebellion podcast. In this episode, we continue our interview with Brandon from Winged Guitar Publishing, and Mark and I talk Kill Team. Are you as excited as we are? Probably. Okay, so you've mentioned that you're a gamer as well as being involved in all the writing side of things. So if you've got a Saturday afternoon off and a couple of mates around, what is your go-to system?
See, that's a tough thing, because first of all, having a Saturday afternoon off is a relic in its own. But first, I'm actually trying to start a local gaming club, because the area that I live in, I'm 29 years old, and when I was in high school, so about 12 years ago or so, maybe even a little bit more than that, I don't remember off the top of my head, but, it used to be that a lot of people knew about Warhammer, at least, and that people knew about tabletop gaming. And nowadays, it's just, in my area at least, it's a relic. And it was refreshing going to Adepticon and seeing so many people involved and engaged in games, because you just don't see that around here anymore, unfortunately. I mean, we had a couple local gaming stores, and they all closed down. The last one is called The Game Room, and it's a man cave store. It's got pool tables and bars, but it doesn't have tabletop gaming anymore. So I find myself struggling to get into tabletop gaming anymore. First and foremost, I'm a straight video game gamer. I've been playing video games my whole life, and that's really been a big encouragement to get me into writing and expand my vocabulary as much as I have is from playing RPGs.
Yeah.
But ultimately, one of my favorite tabletop games I've ever played was actually Inquisitor.
The 50, is it 54 mil one?
I think so. They were bigger models, and that was one thing that appealed to me. But I actually went over, when my dad used to work at Games Workshop, I went over and the Black Library guys taught me how to play it.
Oh, wow.
And I schooled them all in it the first day I played it. So that was a fun thing to do.
Yeah, my mum brought a box of stuff back from the garage when she moved house, and in it was my original copy of the Inquisitor rulebook and my Battlefleet Gothic rulebook. It was a very happy day.
That's great. Honestly, though, a game I really would like to get into, and it's not just because I'm working with them, I really would like to get into Kings of War. I really would like to assemble a Kings of War army, because my natural penchant is to fantasy. I've written my own fantasy novel and a series of novels I'm working on, and I've always been a fantasy guy. I like science fiction, but I've always been interested in the sword and sorcery, paladin, sword-wielding, adventure type thing.
Yeah.
And I've tried, there's actually another series of novels that I wanted to write in a fantasy setting, and I never got a chance to. And then when we started working with Kings of War, I'm like, wow, they have so many different races. This is kind of like what I was trying to write with in my second set of novels I wanted to do. So I'm going to adapt that fantasy novel for my second series of novels for Kings of War setting. But I would really like to get into Kings of War just because of the diverse number of races.
Yeah. When
I very first started playing Warhammer 40k, I was just in awe by all the different kinds of races and figures there were. So I was like, wow, you have so many different battles with so many different armies. I was an Ultramarine person, but
preach, brother, preach.
Yes, I had a huge Ultramarine army. I went and saw the Ultramarine movie with Dan Abnett. What did he make of the movie? Because
it has some critics, shall we say?
It was so long ago, and we saw it in such an odd theater in New York. I can only remember snippets of it, but I think I don't really know. I even was like, it's a little odd. But it was still neat just going there, because Dan Abnett's actually a close family friend of ours, and he stayed at our house before. We used to spend hours, when I was younger, sitting at bars at games days and just chatting, just telling stories. One of my favorite memories of that is we went out to dinner with Dan Abnett and Mike Lee, and Dan Abnett was telling such funny stories. Mike Lee was laughing so hard. He said he was going to start laughing like a little schoolgirl from damned stories, which was a great mental image seeing the two of them sit together. But ultimately, going back to what I was saying before, Ultramarines were my first army, and I had a side army of Tyranids that I used to just collect for shits and giggles to play against my friends. And my friends used to have armies like the Necrons and the Tau, Black Templar, and we would just have diverse groups that we could battle against each other, and it wouldn't get boring because we'd have different units and different armies. We each had at least 2 or 3 armies we would play as. That way we could keep things diverse and different. And I really feel like that's a fun thing when you have all these different armies involved, that you can just – it never gets stale because there's always something different you can do. And if you get bored, hey, get some free money, buy a new army, play a different group, get something else that interests you.
Yeah.
And I think that's really why I'd like to get into Kings of War as a gamer, just to be able to play with a couple different diverse armies and just try something different.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a display cabinet in my office, and it either has power armor or pointy ears. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, what have you got coming up project-wise? You've spoken a lot about Mantic. So what is there something like concrete saying, this is what we're making, this is when it's coming out, or can you tell us anything about that?
Yes, I can actually give you I can tell you what our publishing schedule looks like through 2019 if you're interested.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so this May, which is next month, we have the first book in our second series of the Great Martian War novels called The Texas Front. And the gentleman who's worked on the first 3 novels, Scott Washburn, he's worked closely with the author on this one. And the first 3 of our Great Martian War novels told the tale about Roosevelt. Scott's actually going to be doing a trilogy later in the year, in November, called Europe Ablaze, which is going to be like the Churchill and Europe side of things. But this one, The Texas Front, we wanted just something, a little bit of a different perspective in the United States besides Roosevelt and the couple of characters that Scott had in Great Martial War. This tells about like a difference, obviously Texas as opposed to like the northeast for the most part. So that comes out next month. Also in May we have War Kings, which is the Kings of War anthology, and we've got a lot of veteran authors in that one and a couple of new ones. We did not open publication submissions to the public this time because of the fact that the way that Mantic wanted the anthology, I actually have it paired up that each author has either 2 to 3 armies that they're writing about. So that way every faction in Kings of War at time of writing has been covered.
Yeah.
So I selected unfortunately, Tom, you wrote a story for it. I would have loved to use it, but unfortunately, because, like I said, the way that it was set up, it was different than one of our normal anthologies. So as much as I would have liked to have fan submissions, as much as I would like to publish you in this one, your name isn't going to be in the next one. I can assure you that.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Brendan.
No problem. In June, we have our very first Gates of Antares novel, Markov's Prize, and that's by Mark Barber. And that is a very, very well-written book. And I'm not saying that because I'm his editor. I'm saying that when I go through novels, I go through it with several different lenses. I go through it from an editing lens, so I can catch on grammar, technicalities, content to make sure it's all coherent, make sure that the lore of the universe is complete. And I also go through it with a reader's mind frame. Because if I'm reading this novel, I want our readers to actually be interested and engaged in it. So I go through it with the mind frame of, is this going to appeal to somebody?
Yeah.
And I can tell you that Markov's Prize is one of the better books I have read in a long time. It really deals with the humane aspects of war, the things you don't think of. Like any type of stereotype that you think that about with like the army and things. Like I thought about, that's what the army was, like this one way of like, yes sir, yes ma'am for everything, and they were, always super like on their toes and everything. Mark has kind of portrayed the army as like, yes, it's yes sir when you're in front of a superior, but when you're not, it's kind of like a laid back, general joking, like everybody's a family type atmosphere. And that's something I didn't, because I don't have any army experience, I didn't expect to see. And he's done a really great job of humanizing characters in a faction that is mostly controlled by computer sentient intelligence. It's really, really astonishingly well written for somebody who had, March published a couple war books and everything, but he's not published a novel, and I think that people are going to really appreciate this gem and really look forward for him as an author in future works.
Yeah, I read the first couple of chapters. He sent over a very early draft, and it was evident. And you're listening, Mark. Yeah, you can wipe the smile off your face. It was very well put together. I have an Algarin army, and I played Mark's Concord on a few occasions, and at the end of it he always says, "You didn't kill my main character." So I don't know which model is Markov, but I haven't killed him yet. It's on my to-do list.
Well, Markov's prize is the planet, so you want to look for a character named Ryan Tall, because that's the leader of his army.
Next time he's out of the room, I'll look under all the bases. I'm sure he's marked it somehow, but yeah, no, I am going to kill him at some point.
There you go. Cool. Also in June, we have the Great Martian War Omnibus coming out, which is the collection of the first 3 Great Martian War novels with some new short stories interluded in them to kind of help keep it new and exciting. In July, we have our second Antares novel by Black Library renowned author Mike Lee. He's going to be doing our second Antares novel, which it was originally scheduled to be our first. We wanted to lead off with Mike, but there were some complications that came up along the way, so he's going to be doing his novel in July. August, we have our own fantasy IP sword and sorcery type novel called Fires of Memory, which is by Scott Washburn, who also did the Great Martian War novels and has also done several stories in the Antares anthologies. September, we have a novel in Beyond the Gates of Antares called Void Protocol by Riley O'Connor. And if anybody has read the first 2 Antares anthologies, you'll find that Riley has written stories in both of those, and those are prelude tie-ins to the novel. So if you're interested in the Antares novels, I'd definitely check out the anthology and check out his 2 stories in there. Like I said, in November, we have the Great Martian War Europe Ablaze, which is by Scott Washburn, the second set of his trilogies in the Great Martian War series. In 2019, we have Nature's Night, which is our first Kings of War novel by a gentleman by the name of Mark DeSantis. Mark has written some work for us in the Beyond the Gates of Antares anthology, and he is actually going to be doing an Antares novel with us and several other works in our future. So Mark is definitely an author to look forward to in our catalog.
Nice.
In February, we're going to be having the Antares Anthology Volume 3. No title with that yet. We're going to come up with something clever to go with the theme, but that is set out for February. I'm not sure if we're going to have open submissions on that yet. I have a slew of submissions that I have to go through first to find out if we are missing any holes. So people can stay tuned for announcements on our Facebook page and our Twitter about that. But right now it's closed submissions. In March, we have a novel set out in our own IP universe called Starry Bogo, which is a 1500s universe with the and the Slavic gods. There's a couple other factions, but for fun, we threw in the Cthulhu-esque elements to just keep things interesting.
Okay. Nice bit of H.G. Wells going on. Always good.
Yes. Yeah, it's very cool because, like I said, set in that time where the 1500s, so it's the Slavic gods versus the Elder gods. The Elder gods are very tentacly, dark, evil lords. And the different factions are all trying to compete against either keeping the Elder gods at bay or bringing the old gods like Perrin and deities like that back to life to help combat them. So it's kind of like a supernatural universe where you've got all these big historical factions involved. And we did an anthology of short stories for that. And Clint Werner, C.L. Werner of BL Library fame, is going to be writing a novel for us under that IP, which will be out in March. He did 2 short stories in the anthology we did for that in 2015. In May, we have an Antares novel by a gentleman by the name of Duncan Waugh. Antares novel is called Fires of Retribution, and if anybody's read the anthologies for that, it's going to for the Antares universe. He has a prelude short story in that, and he's going to have another prelude short story in Anthology 3. So what we're trying to do is somehow tie these anthologies, the short stories in that. We're going to try to build some of the stories that we've published in that to make novels. So like Mark Barber's short story was originally in our first anthology, and then because I found the short story so engaging, we proposed him with a novel deal. So if you've read the first Antares anthology, which is Open Signal, Mark's short stories in that, which will prelude the novel, which will be out in June.
Yeah, I think that's a really clever way of doing it, because you can kind of test the water with the community. You know, which of these stories do you like, and then let's run with those popular ones.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then we have 3 more novels next year. July of 2019, we have The Gorgo Project, which is going to be by Mark DeSantis. Again, he has written in one of our Dimensional Gates, the second Antares anthology, and he will also be writing a Kings of War novel, and he wrote in the Kings of War anthology. September, we have our very first Dreadbull novel by Robert E. Waters. He is a veteran author for us. He has been publishing works in every one of our anthologies, and he's been with us since the Wild West Exodus days. He was very, very, very excited about being able to do a Dreadbull novel, so look forward to The Last Hurrah, because it is going to be a lot of love and energy put into that one. And then in November of next year, we have a gentleman by the name of Clayton Conduff writing a Warpath novel for us. I don't think I have the name for that yet, but he is going to be our lead-off in Warpath. Clayton has been he's known a lot about the industry for a long time. He's been involved in more things than I've been aware of. He's basically, I found out he's been buying our books since the beginning, and he's a great author on top of that. So, we've got a lot of really good talent that we've amassed over the years, and our schedule is jam-packed up until 2019. We actually just finalized all of our scheduling at Adepticon. So we have a lot of works in all of our different genres and IPs that are coming out in the next 2 years.
Oh, that's fantastic. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome. What I'd like to do, just to kind of wrap things up, if that's all the same with you, is I have my trusty D20 here, and I have written a list of 20 like blue or red, apple or orange type questions. So I'm going to roll this a couple of times, and we'll let fate decide which questions I'm going to ask you, okay?
I like that.
Cool. Okay, first one. 10. Alien or human?
Human.
That's number 6. Dragon or ogre?
Oh, dragon, hands down.
18. Skirmish or apocalypse?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I know a lot of people are into Fallout, but honestly, I'm the type of guy that likes a small, heroic type battle. I'm going to go with Skirmish.
Cool. 7. Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Oh, that's a good one. Game of Thrones, I really like the novels, I like the TV show, but I lost interest last season or 2. Lord of the Rings, I was super into the tabletop game, and it was one of the first games that actually got me into playing tabletop games. So I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings on that one.
I think that's a good shout. Okay, I'm going to choose this one because I'm going to link back to something you said earlier. Now, when you said you're a gamer, is PC?
I'm a mix of both.
Okay, all right. Well, this one will work then.
What was that?
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation. And that's actually a funny story because I used to be a very big Xbox person, but then when I heard... Originally, I was PlayStation all the way. I grew up playing PlayStation 2. I owned a PlayStation 3, but my friends got me into Xbox 360 when Halo was big and all that. And Xbox had the party system and everything. It was more advanced, so I was playing Xbox for a long time. But then when I heard that the Xbox One might have had that capability where they don't let you play used games, I switched back to Sony, and I'm a proud owner of my PS4. Yeah,
that's the exact reason why I ditched my Xbox pre-order and ordered a PS4. I was like, I send a lot of games back. I get them on Amazon, you play them for a week or two, you finish them and go, well, I've got 28-day returns here, so I'm just going to send this back.
Nice.
which is probably a bit not the done thing, but you weren't going to be able to do that with the Xbox. Okay, cool.
I just can't believe that was a thing that they were even considering.
I know, whose bright idea was that? Okay, awesome. All right, well, Brandon, thank you so much for your time. I hope our listeners have enjoyed talking to you, or rather listening to you. I've enjoyed talking to you, and hopefully we can get you on in the future again.
Thanks, Tom. It was a really great time. Anytime you guys want me back on, I'd be more than happy to stop back in.
Awesome. All right, cheers, Brandon. All the best.
Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Cheers, buddy. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
In this section, Mark and I talk about the upcoming release of Kill Team by Games Workshop and our thoughts on skirmish games in general. Okay, right, and we're back, I think. Yes, this is all working. Good. So, what else? Kill Team. Have you seen that? That looks exciting.
Yeah, I got a good chum of mine who, again, was playing this sort of stuff back in the 90s, and he's now mercilessly bullied by his other half, as this isn't a cool hobby. So he's not allowed to play it. But Kill Team, he said he's that excited by, he's going to stand up to his wife and he's going to go out and buy it. That's the sort of impact this game is having. That the whole idea of the 40k and the models that are already out there, but with more of a small special forces-esque feel to it.
Yeah.
And the individual RPG style advancement of your guys. Yeah, I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think, I wonder if they've kind of done it off the back of how successful Necromunda appears to have been, and people, I think games that you can invest in over a longer period of time, not just an army, like this is my Ultramarines army, they've done this, but actually, individual character development over a period of time. If you can get that right, I think games become far more rewarding because you have stories to tell rather than just, we rolled up and this happened when these two armies fought. But actually, remember when this happened, and it gives you, I don't know, I'm not explaining this very well.
No, I think it's one of the reasons why 40k was always more successful than Epic.
Yes.
Is because you are following the exploits of what starts off being a lump of plastic on a sprue, glue it together, stick some paint on it, becomes a little bit more individual. And then over the course of a couple of years, depending on what happens with dice, some individual models may stand out. Bloody hell, every time this guy is doing really well, and they start to evolve into something having a little bit more personality, as much personality as a lump of plastic can have.
It seems to be like the obviously the smaller the model count, the more invested you can become in the individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I guess comes back to there's some systems with 54 mil, so pretty big miniatures really. It is a very individual thing where you can have a very small number of stuff. But yeah, with this, following on from all the Necromunda chats we've been having, you are going to have named individuals with individual skills and equipment lists.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think it is going to have that more of a narrative storyline kind of feel to it.
Yeah, which, I mean, your main armies are Dark Angels and Eldar. Would you branch out into something different, or would you just cobble together something from what you've got?
I'd go Dark Angels just because I started collecting these guys when I was 10. So yeah, there's.
I've got a fairly hefty collection, haven't you?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, and I've got some of the original. I think on the base they're 1986 maybe, but the original Imperial Space Marines as they were from Rogue Trader.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't use them actually in retrospect. But yeah, you can see how the model casting process has evolved over 30 years is the polite way to put it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've got some orcs. I put in a quick sales pitch for hysterical gaming for anyone who wants orcs with a slightly different slant. They actually are hysterical. And
these your like Kelly's Heroes type
commando orc.
Yeah.
So they've all got Bren guns, Lee Enfield rifles, Stens. They're wearing nearly authentic World War II British uniforms, but are still very, very orky and have a very orc slant on it. And are very funny. You know, the orc leader is a lieutenant with a Webley service revolver and a cricket bat. And they're really good miniatures and really high quality as well. They're not, you know, kind of stuff that looks good on the page and then it arrives and you're a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
They're genuinely really good. So yeah, I may well use those. I think it would be Dark Angels, my comedy orcs, and the Eldar as well. But the Eldar, without insulting Eldar players, we're always there for. So I've got an army for someone who doesn't collect to have a go at a game.
Yeah,
they're always my. If you want to have a go at it, you can borrow my Eldar sort of army.
Yeah. I mean, I'm quite tempted by Harlequins because I've got some, and I spent bloody ages trying to paint them, and I need an excuse to use them. But I think, I don't know. For me, Eldar, they're all about these kind of quick lightning strike things. They're all like, their whole ethos is the kind of kill team approach already, because they don't have the numbers to be doing, you know, protracted grinding attritional warfare. So I don't know. I think I might do Tau, because you can do stealth suits, and I think that they would be, I would assume, infuriating to play against if they are, you know, virtually impossible to hit. And you're probably only going to get 3 or 4 of them out in a list. And I just think that would be quite amusing.
Do we know yet which factions are going to have rules released for them in the initial release of the box set?
So the rulebook has rules for, I think, everyone but Custodes. I don't remember seeing Custodes on the faction list, but like Grey Knights are on there. Space Marines, Orcs, like the boxes, Mechanicum and Genestealer Cults, there's a Tyranid one, an Orc one, Imperial Guard. I think they're pretty much all on there. But as I say, I can't remember whether Custodes on. They might be. I'd have a look, but I'm using my phone and my iPad at the moment to record this. But I think the idea is that they're not leaving anybody out, which would make sense, because obviously that, you know, if your army isn't present, you might be a bit miffed about it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they balance it. I think, as you said, in terms of large versus small armies.
Yeah.
If you get something like Space Marines, which are always outnumbered, nearly always. If you get stuff where you've got a small core number of expensive units, how's that going to work in this? You know, if you turn up with 5 Space Marines, does that mean an Imperial Guard player gets to turn up with 30 models?
Well, the biggest you can have in your team is 20. You can have a maximum of 20 on your roster, and I think Necromunda's pretty well balanced. I think they've probably figured out the best way of doing it. And yeah, you might get 10 Guardsmen versus 5 Space Marines or whatever. But I think Games Workshop know at this point how to balance a system. Whether it is or not remains to be seen. But I think it's not going to be realistic. I think you need to sort of suspend your sort of disbelief a little bit. Because otherwise you would have, you know, there's the line. So if you need to take a planet, you send 100 Space Marines, and you can capture a planet. You know, if you need to take a city, you can send 10. So sending 10 Space Marines on a kill team mission against 15 Guardsmen. Well, there's no way in hell those Guardsmen are going to win ever, but that would be a really boring game, and it would either be. So there will be a balance to it.
Yeah, you've got to balance the rules versus the lore and stuff, and looking at some of the Black Library novels of how potent a single Space Marine is in a fight, and there's novels where you'll see them, 2 or 3 of them go up against 20 orcs and just take them all out, barely taking a scratch. And then if you try and roll that up in 40k,
it doesn't work.
So yeah, there is going to be a disconnect, and, but you got to. I think that's more important, as you said, to have the game balanced and fun. Otherwise, everyone will just be Space Marines if they want to win. Yeah,
you got to have fun. It's a hobby. It's about having fun, and if it's not fun, you're not going to play it, are you?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. That lore side of it is really important, and for me, my primary game still being bolt action, that's very easy to achieve because anyone who plays it knows World War II.
Yeah.
Or have seen Band of Brothers and think they know World War II really well. Sorry, that was a bit of a dig. Probably edit that out. But with sci-fi and fantasy, that gets trickier. And Warhammer do it very well. I think in terms of what started off, you got back in the 80s, of what was a thinly veiled, almost parody of the Star Wars universe, of your shriveled up emperor on his throne with his psychic powers and his hordes of identically clad, armoured, faceless soldiers taking over the universe after a big civil war. It really has evolved into its own thing. And really stepped away from those early sort of the early premise.
Yeah.
And that's what is one of the things which makes it the most popular system on the market. And I think you can see why other systems are trying to do the same to emulate that success. But that's one of the things which is going to make Kill Team great again is the lore behind it. Everyone knows the system and knows the kind of fluff behind their armies and their figures, and at that smaller scale, when you might be really attached to individuals, it works better.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, excellent, cool. Well, we're looking forward to that, and hopefully, it will be as good as we're hoping. Thanks again, folks, for joining us on the Dawn of Rebellion podcast. This is it for episode 2. In episode 3, who knows? We haven't recorded anything for it yet, but hopefully it'll be out in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for listening. All the best.